Hey, so I was just, over the weekend dealing with all of that. Of course, all of the hullabaloo that's been in the news media this past few days and weeks, even now with Kanye and anti-Semitism and all these things floating around. I think it's an opportune time to present some questions that I have just out into the atmosphere for not even because I expect them to be answered, and I'll get to that, but just for if to see if anybody else thinks similar things and maybe even wants answers for these kind of questions. And the reason, and these are questions surrounding Jewish faith and culture. So that's why I don't expect to have them answered, because one thing that Jewish people have made clear in a lot of different ways is that they're not very open to answering questions about their religion, which is fine. I'm not the type of person that demands that you have to allow other people to even know the esoteric practices or whatever that you do. That's cool. But I do have a very simple question and something that I just can't bring myself to reason with. And that is that I really don't. Well, it's not a question. I'm going to start with a statement and I'll basically go into why. I don't believe in Judaism as an ethnicity. I don't believe that that is I don't think that classification makes any kind of sense. I think that there could be a separation where there's a type of people, like let's say if they were Israelites and then they had Judaism as their national religion, but there's no other religion that works like that. And I just don't understand why there's a special set of rules. Once again, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that from what I understand, it doesn't make sense to do that because it creates this automatically this unique thing with special treatment, which is why there's animosity. But I say all that to say that maybe there's reasons as to why I don't understand why they are both. And that's fair. And I could learn all those reasons and still feel the way that I do, which is also a possibility. But a main question, geez, my face. Anyways, a main question that I wanted to get into in this video specifically, though, is something that I brought up in my previous video on Michael Malice, going back on Tim and stuff, and that whole situation. But I asked the question: how can a Jewish person be an anarchist? Because and I understand that the answer to that is an ethnically Jewish person who is not a follower of the religion can technically be an anarchist. And I'm not saying that that's not true or possible as it currently stands based off of the definitions of Judaism and anarchy and all that stuff. I'm just saying at that point, none of those words mean anything because I don't understand how you can be ethnically a religion or Jewish. I understand that based off of that religion, that's because they believe that they are a cultural genetic thing, just like, all other humans on the planet, but that's neither here nor there. I understand that when your religion tells you that you are the chosen people of God, you're going to operate with that, especially when you believe it. So that makes sense. And really the true believers are not even the people who I'm addressing here. But what I'm addressing is the ethnic people who claim, I guess, whatever reason that they identify as that, but claim things that are fundamentally against what Judaism is. I don't understand how, and maybe it's because of maybe that is the ethnic element to it, that the ethnic binding makes it so that you don't excommunicate people who are non-believers and believe other things out of your community. But I don't understand how you can be like an atheist or something. Like DJ Vlad is an atheist Jew. It's like, oh, okay, you don't believe in God, but you're ethnically Jewish. Like, how could they? I'm just asking directly to the Jewish community, why would you even accept people like that in the ranks of your ethnicity if they're literally insulting the culture from which their ethnicity is derived? It doesn't make sense to me. And even if it's not an insult, I'm just saying, when you have such strict law, like how can this exist on this two-sided coin of we have strict laws and judges and courts and systems to create what Judaism is? But then some people can be like, yeah, screw all that stuff, but I am Jewish, though. I don't understand how these two things can coexist. These two schools of thought can coexist. And this kind of contradiction and the ambiguity, the lack of answers for people who are Gentiles, Goyim, outside of the Jewish religion is why there is this, there's why the animosity is built up. I'm not trying to throw blame here. I'm just saying illumination always, gets rid of darkness. So it's something that I personally would be interested to discuss. If anybody, I've seen a few Jewish people comment on some of my previous videos before. If any of you can, leave the emotion at the door and actually have a real conversation to inform somebody who's asking legitimate questions, I would love to hear your answers and things like, about anything that I've said here or something that you think I'm not taking into consideration. I also understand that it is not your obligation to inform me whatsoever, but I am going to talk about it, and I'm not afraid to. And if you think that that is anti-Semitic or means that I'm hateful, well, that's laughable to me. So that's that.